So the CFL just had its week, and it had an amazing game. I think this is week 8 of 21. So it kicked off with the Edmonton Elks going to the Saskatchewan Roughriders. So this was a big game. The two best guys in the West.
Yeah, that's what we said last week. This was
Yeah,
going to be the best matchup, and
I
it
believe it was true.
yeah, I think it really was. And for those of you who may not follow the CFL as closely, Fajardo, or I think that's how you say
Yeah,
it.
Cody Fajardo.
Yeah, he played at Nevada back in the day. So if you remember some of those Mountain West games, they were definitely pretty entertaining that he was in back then.
Yeah,
There was a small window where I played some college football fantasy leagues, and he was
yeah.
on my roster. So I definitely remember him, and he really showed up.
Yeah, so this game had ended with the Elks getting a 57 or 58-yard field goal to win it 36-34 with a walk-off field goal. So usually you can see a lot of field goals in the NFL, but from what I've seen in other leagues, they usually don't kick field goals because most of the kickers are very inaccurate. But this guy nailed a 57-yarder.
That's huge.
Yeah, I think most NFL kickers would disagree, but that is massive, like in the
Yeah,
CFL.
even in the NFL, if you're hitting it from 50 or beyond, that's a difficult field goal. So I think even then they would give him credit for that. But yeah, so that was the big game of the week, I would say. Um, Elks, what's their record now?
So I believe they're 6-1, and on top of the league, I think the only other guy that's close, they might be 6-1 as well as Montreal. But the Rough Riders fell to 4-2. I do believe they're gonna keep being one of the best. I think that will be the Western Final. I think they will make it to the finals.
But the Elks giving themselves a little bit of breathing room, a little distance between themselves and the Rough Riders.
So then, going to the second game, the Calgary Stampeders went to the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. So going into this week, I said that the Blue Bombers are way worse than their record at 4-3,
You
and
did.
Calgary is way better. Or they were 4-2, and Calgary was 2-4. And I said Calgary gets a massive win. And what do you know? 52-30.
52
Calgary
points.
beats the tar out of the Blue Bombers.
They put it on them.
So I've watched this, like every game basically, the highlights. No team has scored more than 50 points other than Calgary, and they've done it twice. Calgary has been pretty lackluster. They're either really good or they're really bad, but they're the only one that's stacked on 50 a 50 burger, and then they did it again.
Yeah.
And Winnipeg, I don't believe that they're that good. They'll get a few more wins in here, but I don't think they're that good. And then moving on to the second game, or the third, I got this one wrong. So I said Lions win it, but this was before Rourke's injury. And Rourke, him being out of that game, it was massive.
Yeah, the Lions struggled.
It was,
Only 12 points total there.
yeah, it was a pretty bad game, and it was at home too. The Argonauts went to the Lions and beat them up 26-12, and one of the most boring games I've had to watch. And then finishing off the week, the Hamilton Tiger Cats went to the Alouettes, and what should have been a big win looked like it could have been a Hamilton win for a while. It was 18-17 going into the 3-minute warning, and the Alouettes just roared back and ended up winning 31-18, I believe.
Yeah, 31-18. But yeah, the Tiger Cats they had an 18 to 17 lead, like you said. So it was right there within their grasp. But the Alouettes rose to the occasion, and when it mattered most, they took the lead and then added to it. So they come out on top again.
And I'm still new to the CFL. I think we both are. And I picked the Tiger Cats. I was excited to see what they are like, but they're kind of feeling like the Aviators a little bit. They got the talent there, they just can't win. And I feel like I've come a little bit with just bad teams. Aviators, Rams, Tiger Cats. I mean, you're worse. You're way worse. Um,
But yeah, Tiger Cats showing to not be the best choice
I
there.
I don't quite remember your predictions. I don't know if you do, but I ended up finishing 2-2 with my losses coming in the Elks Rough Riders game where I said Rough Riders pull off a win, in the Argonauts Lions game where I said Lions win.
I'm not sure.
I might have to
I
go
know
look back at it.
I think I called the Blue Bombers to win, so I think I got that one wrong, but I'm not sure
Yeah,
who
you
I
said
called
that.
for the other
You said
ones.
Alouettes, Blue Bombers, Rough Riders, and Argonauts.
So
So
2-2 as well.
yeah, that's pretty
Um,
decent.
but I think one thing to note is that the games, there was a degree of suspense that any team could win when these teams matched up because Ottawa had the week off.
Yeah,
So if there's a game Ottawa's in, like you could pretty much lock in a win for
I
the other
mean,
team,
Ottawa's been in every single game like they've had. They've only lost by a little bit.
but they've lost each game.
Yeah,
But this week they had it off
I do believe they had like a double-digit lead over Winnipeg,
and then
and they
lost.
lost. Yeah,
So, but yeah, they had the week off. So these teams, none of them had the advantage of playing Ottawa. So it was all, I think, more
I
of a battle for each team.
I mean, you really with Rourke down and Bo Levi Mitchell down, Hamilton and BC were basically guaranteed wins. As long as you could handle the defenses, it's pretty easy to outbeat the offenses.
Yeah.
But then moving over to week 9, because we don't want this segment to take too long. Um, the Lions play the Blue Bombers. So who do you have that?
I think the Blue Bombers bounce back. I
I
think
do believe that's true.
that they've had their inconsistencies, but I think that they're just better all around than the Lions. I don't think the
Yeah,
Lions are able to outscore them.
I do believe that's true. I think the Blue Bombers pull off a bounce back win. And then to the second game, the Alouettes and Red Blacks play. So I do believe we're on the same page here again with the Alouettes.
Yeah, Alouettes, like we said,
Alouettes
they're
all
in
the way.
running for the best team in the league. So I think the bigger question in this matchup would be how much do they win by, more than whether they win or not.
It is a division rival, and I don't believe these teams like each other very much. Obviously, with it, Ottawa and Montreal. So we've agreed on both games. So do we agree here? Stampeders, Tiger Cats. I have stamps.
Yeah, yeah. Calgary, I think, especially with the way they showed up last week, I think was it 2 weeks in a row they lost to Montreal? Is that who they
Yeah.
had played? So I think, bouncing back last or this week, beating the Blue Bombers, I think they'll continue that with another win over the Tiger
And that
Cats.
would move them up to an even 4-4.
Yeah.
Um, and then the last game, do we agree here? I have Rough Riders.
So this is interesting because we talked about this being the game last week, that was game of the week, and then here they are playing again the best two teams in the West, the Rough Riders and the Elks again. And then, like you said, do the Rough Riders get revenge, or do the Elks just prove pure dominance by winning both matchups? I think it's hard to beat the same team twice. Um,
Montreal pulled it off, but they were both it was very close, both games.
I'm gonna go with the Elks here.
All right, well we disagreed on that. So I want to see your game of the week before we go, because I have Alouettes Red Blacks as my game of the week. Because I do believe Red Blacks can keep it moderately close.
I think the Rough Riders Elks will still be game of the week. I think the Alouettes probably win by 14, over Ottawa. Is my thoughts on that. So normally we try and have, and I think we'll see more of this as we get into the seasons with more news.